Yo, what's good? Amateur Lore here, and we're back with some more draft content. This time taking a look at every Mountain West school's highest NFL draft pick since 2000. Before we hop into this video, if you're wondering when I'll be announcing the giveaway winner for the mini helmets, that'll be happening in the next video I post, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be entering all the names that entered into a randomizer wheel and spinning it in the intro of my next video and choosing 2 or 3 winners. If you want to enter, just comment your favorite college football team down below and be subscribed. That's it. But with all that out of the way, let's hop right into the video. The first team that we're looking at today in the Mountain West Conference is the Air Force Falcons. First things I want to say is shout out to our troops. I appreciate everything you do for us. Okay, with that out of the way, while I love our troops, Air Force draft history isn't really nothing to write home about. But that's to be expected from a service academy, only having 3 players selected in the NFL draft since 2000. With their highest pick coming back in 2022 when the New Orleans Saints would select defensive tackle Jordan Jackson in the 6th round with the 194th overall pick. He wouldn't stick around with the Saints for long as he currently plays for the Denver Broncos now, and while he hasn't started any games yet, he may have found a home with the Broncos hopefully as he is still under contract for at least 1 more season with them. Next team up in the Mountain West is the Boise State Broncos. And come on, I think we all know the Broncos are the most recognizable Group of 5 program in all of college football. And real quick, are there any college football nerds here that can tell me why Boise State still hasn't joined a Power 5 conference yet? Anyway, the Broncos have had an impressive draft history, producing 6 first-round picks since 2000, with their highest of those 6 first-round picks literally coming while I'm recording this video, as the Las Vegas Raiders would select Ashton Jeanty with the 6th overall pick. And while we can't judge how good he has been since he was just drafted, bro was a monster in college, especially last year. So I expect great things from him. From a Group of 5 powerhouse, we move over to a more low-key team in the Colorado State Rams for the next team up in the Mountain West. Their draft history isn't too shabby, and I know I'm only doing picks from 2000, but I do have to shout out linebacker Joey Porter Jr., who'd be selected in the 1999 draft in the 3rd round with the 73rd overall pick. He was a beast and played for the Dolphins for a little, having a 17.5 sack season with them, and I wanted to shout him out because my dad used to mess with them heavy. If y'all can't tell by now, my dad is a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. While Joey Porter is probably the best Colorado State Ram of all time, for their highest NFL draft pick since 2000, we have to go back to 2014 when the New York Giants would select offensive lineman Weston Richburg in the 2nd round with the 43rd overall pick. Like I always say, I really don't know how to judge the big man up front, but Weston would play a couple of years in the league securing the bag, and he was also part of the 2019 49ers squad that lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Y'all, is Fresno State the quarterback U of the Mountain West? I know saying that out loud at first might sound like blasphemy, but chill, let me cook like Sanji for a second. The Fresno State Bulldogs have had some pretty highly recognizable quarterbacks picked in the last couple of decades, such as Derek Carr and Trent Dilfer. And real quick, am I the only one here who had no idea Dilfer played for Fresno State? You learn something new every day. And I'm well aware Davante Adams went there as well, but just chill, I'm trying to push my Fresno State quarterback U agenda. So for the Bulldogs' highest NFL draft pick since 2000, we have to go all the way back to 2002, when the Houston Texans would select quarterback David Carr with the number 1 overall pick. I think we all know how his NFL career turned out. The Texans straight up gave him no O-line and ruined his confidence, but at least he played in the NFL for 10 seasons. Definitely made himself a pretty nice bag. Who can hate on that? Next team up in the Mountain West is a team who you've all been hounding me to cover, which I promise to do so next time I make a video covering Group of 5 schools, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Now this team's draft history isn't too crazy, but it's also not too bad for a G5 school, having a handful of 2nd round picks since 2000, even having a linebacker taken in the 2nd round a couple of years ago back in 2019 by the Detroit Lions. However, the Rainbow Warriors have had a 1st round selection in their lore, which takes us back to the 2002 football season, when the Denver Broncos would select wide receiver Ashley Lilly in the 1st round with the 19th overall pick. Ashley would play 7 years in the NFL, going over 1,000 receiving yards 1 time, and would also, interestingly enough, lead the NFL in yards per reception twice, back-to-back in 2004 and 2005. Solid NFL career. From a school that plays football in a place that I want to visit, we rotate over to the Nevada Wolfpack, who also plays football in a place that I also want to visit for the next team up in the Mountain West. Wait a second, hold on, do the Wolfpack play in Las Vegas? Never mind, they play in Reno. Is this city lit? Let me know if you've been there down below in the comments. Alright, so for Nevada's draft history, it's not too shabby, as the Wolfpack have produced some names I'm sure y'all recognize, like wide receiver Romeo Dobbs, and every Army vet's favorite quarterback Colin Kaepernick. 2 pretty nice alums, but for Nevada's highest draft pick since 2000, we have to go back to only 2018 when the Cleveland Browns would select center Austin Corbett in the 2nd round with the 3rd overall pick. Brody is still in the league as we speak, which should tell you all you need to know about how good he has been. Next team up in the Mountain West is the New Mexico Lobos, and y'all know I have to get the Dolphins shout out of the way for my pops' sake. So shout out to kicker Jason Sanders, who was selected back in 2018 in the 7th round with a 229th overall pick, and as we speak he is still kicking for the Miami Dolphins. But while that is cool and all, it's nowhere near the Lobos' top draft pick since 2000, as that honor goes to Brian Urlacher, who was selected in the 1st round, 9th overall by the Chicago Bears back in the 2000 NFL draft. And I mean, Brody played in the NFL for 13 years and was a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any more I need to say. Oh yeah, I don't know why I said that, because I do want to add this in before I move on. Brian Urlacher was also the first player from the University of New Mexico to be elected into the College Football Hall of Fame, which is really cool. Leaving New Mexico, we head to Cali to talk about the next team up in the Mountain West Conference, the San Diego State Aztecs. San Diego has a pretty good draft history, one of the best, producing 42 NFL draft picks since 2000. And I know we're only doing draft picks since the 2000 season, but I do have to mention that one of the best running backs in NFL history, Marshall Faulk, who would be selected second overall to the Indianapolis Colts during the 1994 NFL Draft. And real quick, am I the only one who had no idea Marshall Faulk played for the Colts? The more you know. While having a second overall pick is extremely impressive for a G5 school, it's not the Aztecs' highest since 2000. That was 1994. So we're going to have to go back to the 2018 season when the Seattle Seahawks would select running back Rashad Penny in the first round with the 27th overall pick. He would never really live up to his first round selection hype, but he managed to stick around for 6 years, so he definitely made a nice bag, so shout out to him. Next team up in the Mountain West is the San Jose State Spartans. And to be straightforward with y'all, the drop off from the previous school is noticeable. But like every team we've covered so far, there's still a couple players that San Jose State have produced that I'm sure some of you will recognize. I know someone that I recognized was quarterback Jeff Garcia, and while he would go undrafted in 1994, I just wanted to shout him out because as a kid, I was a diehard Eagles fan. I don't know if y'all know that about me. And I remember him being our quarterback during the, I think, 2006 or 2007 playoffs when we would lose to the Saints. So shout out to Jeff, probably the most successful San Jose State football player ever. But not their highest draft pick since 2000, as that honor goes to tight end Sean Brewer, who was selected in the 2001 draft in the 3rd round, 66th overall by the Cincinnati Bengals, who would play 2 years in the league, never really finding his confidence. Leaving Cali, we head over to Vegas for the next team up in the Mountain West, the UNLV Rebels. And if I would have been recording this specific part a couple of days ago, then UNLV wouldn't have had a player drafted since 2010. However, I'm proud to announce that wide receiver Ricky White III was selected in the 7th round, 238th overall by the Seattle Seahawks, so shout out to you. While that is amazing for him, UNLV has only had 13 players drafted since 2000 while I'm recording this video, which really shocked me. I don't know why, I just kind of thought the Rebels had produced some more NFL talent, but that's not the case. Anyway, for UNLV's highest draft pick since 2000, we have to go back to 2007, when the Cleveland Browns would select defensive back Eric Wright in the 2nd round with the 53rd overall pick. He would play 7 years in the league, starting 81 games and finishing his career with 15 picks. Excellent career if you ask me. Heading back over to the state of Utah for the next team in the Mountain West Conference, the Utah State Aggies. I already know this team's highest NFL draft pick since 2000 off the top because I watched him play a bit in college. Can y'all guess who it is? Before we get to that though, huge shout out to linebacker Bobby Wagner. I had no idea he went to Utah, and he would be drafted in the 2nd round, 47th overall by the Seattle Seahawks. Wagner's been one of the best defensive players of the last decade, making a ton of Pro Bowls and being voted as a first-team All-Pro multiple times. Insane to think about that Utah State produced one of the best defensive players of all time. Anyway, while that's really cool, it's not their highest NFL draft pick since 2000. As for that, we have to go back to 2020, when the Green Bay Packers would select quarterback Jordan Love with the 26th overall pick. I think the fact that Packers fans don't talk about how much they miss Aaron Rodgers tells you all you need to know about how good Love has been. The final school left to cover in the Mountain West is the Wyoming Cowboys, and I think this one right here might be the easiest one of the video. We all know who Wyoming's highest NFL draft pick since 2000 is, right? Well, for the uninformed, we have to go back to 2018 when the Buffalo Bills would select quarterback Josh Allen with the 7th overall pick. And I mean, Allen has transformed the Buffalo Bills, turning them into a Super Bowl contender. And he is even coming off winning the NFL MVP in 2024. Not much else to say. He's that guy.